Hola, muy buenas, ¿qué tal estáis? Bienvenidos al canal, bienvenidos a otro episodio de The Outer Worlds. Soy Sibitien, empezamos. Chicos, ha llegado la hora. Es el momento de enfrentarse a la Junta, destruir el Tártaro, prisión de máxima seguridad, liberar a los prisioneros y enfrentarse a Sofía Cande, representante de la Junta. La guerra ha comenzado. Chun, chun, chun. Vamos para allá. Mapa. Tengo que ir al nivel 3. Ahí donde hay.
Mine's playing tricks on me. Huh? Guess I'm getting paranoid. What was that? I got a body here! What was that?
Asómate. Asómate.
I'll find whoever did this. What was that? I better take a look.
Los tres en la diana. Soy una máquina. Y ahí hay más. Otro fuera. Pero, ¿dónde están?
Sublight has arrived. Hey, kid. A little bird told me you could use our help. I said I owed you one, and I always pay my debts. We're not about to
Empieza la guerra entre corporaciones, chicos.
Are we contractors? Go bust some heads and tell them Lilia sent you. Here we go.
En pedazos. O sea que en función de lo que hagas te apoyan o no. Esto mola. Lo mola mucho.
Something's not right.
Here they come.
¡Qué guapo! Félix, que te me vas de barata. Hostias. Están ahí tú. Menos mal que me compré la habilidad esta de ¿Pero qué están haciendo? Ahí, ahí. Menos mal que me compré la habilidad esta de que si morían les podías resucitar usando la mascarilla esta. Pero qué guapo, ahí me vienen a apoyar los míos. Aunque luego la palmen todos, ¿no? Pero están bien. Esas cosas molan. Me tengo que ir ahí adelante. Vamos a sacar un poquito. Vale. Espera un segundo. Hacia mi izquierda. Joder, cuánta peña, ¿no? De Sublight. A ver, pirateo, esto es cosa mía. Vale, pues hay que ir por aquí. No. ¿Cómo voy yo ahí? A ver, a ver. ¿Cómo es? Vale, ¿y dónde tengo yo una tarjeta de estas de UDL? Uy, casi me aplasta. Casi la lío. Vale, vamos bien, vamos bien. Vamos avanzando poco a poco. Vale, tenemos que seguir avanzando. He visto por ahí al fondo gente. El mejor ángulo. ¡Hala! De ceja y ceja. Es que el Félix se tira por ellos, pero como loco. Y esto lo ha hecho el Félix, mientras iba para allá. ¿A dónde tengo que ir yo? Ahí, vale. El sello del foso. Pues historia. No, por aquí no. Aquí. A ver, chicos. Sabéis que a mí me gustan las cosas tranquilas. Voy a coger una buena posición de tiro. ¡Hala! Te he quitado la caries de un tiro. ¡Ah! He fallado el tiro. Pero bueno. Barbati, que... Mátalo, hombre, ¿qué haces ahí mirándole? Maravilloso, maravilloso. Es que es espectacular. Pues ahora toca recoger todo. Sobrepeso. Es que venir aquí ha sido para ellos una trampa mortal, o sea, es... Todos en fila india, venga. A morir. Hay otro cadáver ahí. Tengo que ir al otro extremo. Es que en estos momentos no quiero ni mirar lo que tengo, o sea... Pero ni mirar. Ah, bueno, los puntos de talento. Vale, esto me interesaba. Pirateo. Voy a piratear mucho. Ventajas. Ventajas.
Think this counts as a promotion?
No sé quién es Grim. Adiós. Gracias. Chicos, venga, asalto, asalto, asalto. Asalto, saqueo, asalto, saqueo.
It's not right. Easy now.
Okay, here we go.
Show 'em how it's done.
En todo el culo.
Oh, that's the last of them.
Ahora recuperaos un poquito, chicos. A ver, ¿dónde tengo que ir? Que esto empieza a ser una especie de laberinto. Vale. 17 metros. Vale. Muerte a las corporaciones. A ver, ¿qué más hacemos por aquí nosotros? Muerte y destrucción, o sea, todo. Esto es para lo típico de la UDL, ahí en plan de patriotas, nos hallamos aquí reunidos, os voy a dar por el culo. Muerte a la UDL. Este parece que la ha guillotinado la propia máquina. Es guapo a ver cómo mueren. Puedes pegarle una. Toma ya. Avanzar, avanzar, avanzar. ¿Dónde están estos? Ah, están ahí, vale. Es la MSI también nos está echando una mano. Esos de ahí. ¿Ves? Es todo contra las corporaciones. Y a todos los que les hemos estado echando una mano ahora aquí en el planeta, En función de cómo hayamos quedado, nos están ahora echando una mano. Todos contra la Junta. Queremos libertad. ¿Qué pasa, chico?
You, ain't feeling jittery, are you? Because I'm not.
Whatever comes of this, I'm just real glad to know you.
Por cierto, la que hay que aprovechar todo.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for
Sofía
complicating my
Akande.
life. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty.
A liberar Arcio.
Do you imagine you're leading some grand revolutionary army? Those barbarians from Monarch are running wild in my prison. I suppose I have you to thank for this indignity. You're nothing but a rabble-rouser. I'm going to put an end to your little rebellion, and then I'm going to have you and your associates arrested. I have no intention of dying on Tartarus, Captain. Not when there's so much work left to do. I admit I miscalculated the extent of your influence. The board's plan never accounted for you. This is a mistake I intend to correct. I have Dr. Wells in my custody. Once I've secured his cooperation, I can move forward with the program. I can repair the damage you've done. I can set things right. Well, that's mostly correct. You're not leaving here at all. I take no pleasure in this, you know. I simply have no other option. Leaving you alive is too great a risk. Goodbye, Captain.
¿Ves? Este es uno de los pequeños fallos del juego. Este sería un perfecto boss, pero lo van a sacar básicamente como si fuera un soldado más con algo más de armadura o algo así. Pero o sea, no se va a diferenciar mucho del resto de soldados. Es uno de los fallos que veo yo al juego, o que yo mejoraría.
I had a feeling you'd say that. This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight and rinse your remains down a drain. And don't worry, I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically, or something.
¿Y eso dónde es? ¿Allá abajo? Vale. ¿Dónde está el droide ese carcelero? Ah, es eso. Vale. Pero desde aquí no le puedo disparar, ¿no? No. Venga, chicos, vamos a darle pa'l pelo.
Great work. Done.
Félix, ¿no? Ah.
Hey, no problem. Hey, boss, watch this.
I'll fix you right up.
Pues
Out of my way. Boss, did you see that?
Pues sí que ha durado mucho. El juego te jode las narices. Claro, le matas a alguien y mueren todos. Vale, este es el nivel. ¿Me parece? Sí, último nivel. Que ya no sé si siquiera por las cosas, o sea, ya me da por saco lo que pueda haber. A ver, por aquí qué hay. Quitando estas historias. Que son cosas que creo que a estos niveles, o sea, ya ni vamos a agotar. Quiera. Vale. Vamos a saltar esta fortaleza impenetrable como lo estamos haciendo. A tiro limpio. La verdad es que, como acabo de decir hace un momento, no hace mucho, lo de los bosses es una verdadera pena. Le daría, pero el toque perfecto al juego.
That's the last of him.
Es que fijaos, o sea, es esta la mala. Ya ha muerto. Ya murió, se acabó. Le falta algo al juego.
Get me out of here!
Ah, es desde aquí, vale.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved, and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough. Ah, all in a day's work for you, huh? You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated. I would like nothing more than to celebrate this victory, but we have a serious problem on our hands. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
Hold on, Doc. Are you telling me the Earth went dark 3 years ago, and the board's just been covering this up?
They've been incredibly effective at concealing the truth. Right now, the only people in the colony who know are standing in this room.
You mean we're all alone out here? Really alone?
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the only home we have left. Returning to Earth is no longer an option. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own. Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us? You've certainly earned your freedom. Halcyon is a better place with you around. You've kept your end of our bargain. Now it's time I kept mine. I'll revive the Hope's colonists myself, and we'll get on with the business of saving this colony. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
Por la República Bananera de Alción.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists: engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Sanjar's civil liberties and worker-centric policies were slow to catch on with the other corporations. But as Halcyon began its long, arduous journey toward recovery, many of Terra 2's smaller townships started adopting MSI's alternative corporate
Esto ya es el final.
and eventually became entirely self-sufficient. In the coming years, many of these townships managed to eke by, where otherwise they might have starved. Bolstered by her status as savior of humanity, Lilia Hagen ushered sublight salvage to a new golden age. Her company grew bolder and more transparent over time, muddying the line between lawful and criminal for the entire colony. The Sublight family would thrive for years to come. After returning to Edgewater, the deserters negotiated workplace reforms with Reed Thompson, including a single day of rest, which came to be known as a weekend. As the world around him changed, Thompson found himself pining for the old days. He was known to spend his weekends in the cantina, nursing one of the few remaining bottles of Zero G, and repeating to himself, "It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's choice." As for Adelaide McDevitt, she tended to her garden in solitude for another year before passing away. Her body was discovered some months later, when Reed Thompson paid her a visit in an effort to make amends. Her remains were buried in a place of honor, underneath the floor of the Edgewater cannery. Reed believed this was what she always wanted. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers, schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Ellie savored her adventures on the Unreliable. Once they were done, she returned to life as usual, running missions of dubious legality, shunning respectable work, and living life to the fullest. She meant to reach out to her one-time captain, but she was always bad at keeping in touch. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Though Parvati eventually grew comfortable aboard the Unreliable, she never quite came out of her shell. She seemed to prefer the company of Ada to the crew, and she could often be found neck-deep in cables and grease, telling Ada funny stories from her childhood. While the colony fell into chaos, she found an island of relative peace with Ada, and they formed an unusual bond. She decided to remain aboard the Unreliable permanently as its chief and sole engineer. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, an MSI subsidiary of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you? The unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon. You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus, and left Dr. Wells to his own devices. The affairs of the colony never distracted you from living out your own dreams, to captain a ship, to sail the ether, and to earn a reputation as the greatest spacer Halcyon ever had. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Bueno chicos, como siempre pasa y este Outer Worlds no podía ser menos, todo lo bueno llega a su fin. Hemos acabado el juego para nuestra desgracia. Pensaba que íbamos a poder disfrutarlo durante mucho más tiempo, pero no ha sido así. La junta no nos ha durado ni un periquete. Podéis estar tranquilos, tras los créditos no hay ninguna pantalla ni ninguna cinemática escondida, así que os lo muestro tal cual. Además no me gustaba como había hecho un anterior análisis, así que acorto y os dejo esto tal cual. Pero es que tiene el juego, yo le encuentro dos. Las pantallas de carga que hay para todo, que puede ser desesperante, y que el juego no tiene bosses. A este juego le metes bosses y ganaría, pero enteros, pero en plan bestia. O sea, unos bosses le daría muchísimo juego. En cuanto a lo demás, el tema de las facciones me parece que está bien llevado. Aunque yo con lo de las facciones siempre voy a ser crítico, porque yo me monto mis películas en mi cabeza y siempre creo que le podría dar 1000 veces más juego. Aunque yo comprendo que cada compañía tiene sus recursos. Y además yo no tengo ni idea de cómo se hace un juego, o sea, no sé hasta dónde se puede llegar y no se puede llegar en ese sitio. Pero bueno, creo que está bien hecho. Además, como se ha visto en el final, hay multitud de finales en función de a qué facciones hayas apoyado, a cuáles hayas eliminado. Los finales pueden ser totalmente alternativos y distintos. ¿Y qué más decir? Los compañeros, me parece que las opciones son muy buenas. Puedes decidir si tenerlos cerca, lejos, que vayan a melee, que vayan a armas de fuego. Los puedes personalizar a tu gusto. Puedes elegir los más acordes a tus capacidades o a cómo quieres llevar tu juego. Al igual que tu propio desarrollo, puedes elegir cómo quieres llevarlo. En fin, sin más. Me parece un juego que por 40 euros que está ahora en Instant Gaming, me parece que es. Podéis mirar el link ahí abajo en la descripción. Me parece que merece totalmente la pena. Y teniendo en cuenta los juegos que hay ahora, es una gran opción. Si no tienes otra cosa, desde luego esto no podría faltar. Me han faltado un par de misiones de los compañeros, pero por lo demás creo que está todo hecho. Yo he hecho lo mejor que he podido, espero que lo hayáis disfrutado. Tenéis ya todo el juego, todo el gameplay, a falta de esas misiones. Ha sido para mí un placer compartir toda esta serie con vosotros. Y si no es mucha molestia, os pediría que apoyáis con un like el vídeo. Es un pequeño gesto para vosotros, no os cuesta prácticamente nada hacer un clic. Os cuesta incluso menos que poner like en los comentarios. Y para el canal, un canal tan pequeño como este, significaría muchísimo. Muchas gracias a todos. Soy Sibitien. Os espero en nuestra siguiente aventura. Adiós.